Okay, this next session is a little bit different from what we usually do, but there will be an offering of prayer by myself, followed by a moment of silence for David Belew, as well as Marge Belew, who predeceased Dave. It'll be followed by a Pledge of Allegiance led by Council Member Tim Knabb. I just want to mention that Dave Belew was also very patriotic. He, for decades, was the chairman of the July 4th celebration. And so this will take a few, but it's very important that we do this. Please remain standing until the pledge. So everybody, please. Almighty God, guide us so that we may display the same traits and principles as Dave Belew, including strong positive commitment to family, strong positive commitment to those with whom he worked and volunteered, strong positive commitment to our city. And may the memories of Dave, cherished by the Belew family, grant that family peace. Also, I want to mention that all of us probably know someone in harm's way in Florida. And please guide them out of harm's way, safe passage to somewhere before tornadoes as well as the hurricanes do strike. Now for a moment of silence for Dave Belew as well as Marge Belew. Remember now, will you lead us, Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. On the screen, it's kind of going back and forth. You will see some photos of Dave Belew, and the first one I think is real significant because it's at a podium which says Hamilton Community Foundation. I'm not sure if you can really think of one without the other, the way he built up the Community Foundation, but that is just one commission or board that he was on. He was on many, many boards. The Hamilton Community Foundation is one which I call our city's guardian angel, and that's because they are. City Council, all believe, I know they want to. They want to say a few words about Dave, reflections of Dave. So if we could start off with Councilmember Susan Vaughn to my far right.
All right, thank you. I know we could take the whole evening and talk about Dave Belew and what he's done for the city. But I had the pleasure, following up on Hamilton Community Foundation, of serving on the Hamilton Community Foundation board. And about 4 years, when Dave ended his 38 years on the foundation board, I had the honor and pleasure to be there with him. And up until that day, Dave always had something to say. He was always contributing, and there was never a meeting where he was not interacting. And it was a real honor to be able to serve with him. On the side, I would say that I've known Dave for over 50 years, and my husband's aunt, Ruth Cooley, was Dave's admin assistant, or secretary as it was known 50 years ago, at Beckett Paper. And she and Dave remained friends until she passed at about 100 years old. And Dave was one of the kindest people, handwritten notes, but I just remember him and even coming to her funeral, saying so many kind things. So there's not enough I could say about Dave, but having known him all those years and followed him and being in awe of what he has done, I don't know anyone else like him. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn.
A life well lived, for sure. A man whose dedication helped make and shape Hamilton is what it is today. His decades of serving on various boards exemplifies the definition of servitude, and Dave Belew's influence certainly had an influence on all of us in the city of Hamilton in the past, in the present, and certainly in the future. Dave Belew, without question, made Hamilton a better place to live, work, and play.
Thank you, Councilmember Lauer.
I too had the pleasure of knowing Dave, and he was a great guy. But I think one of the greatest things that I notice about him is he never did anything he never sought recognition for what he's done. He truly is one of the most humble men I've ever met, and just everything he did, and Marge, came from their heart in the most sincere method ever, and he really will be missed. And I think we should all try to live by maybe one trait that you recognize the most in him and carry that on, and I think that then that would be a good way to keep him alive.
Hey, Councilmember Fear. Second photo that we've been displaying, that is the unveiling, if I'm not mistaken, of the Alexander Hamilton statue, middle of our street. And of course, his leadership was huge in that. And I want to mention Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, do you have a picture of the flags at half-mast? Our city buildings, of course, our downtown Hamilton Municipal Building did display the flag at half-mast. It's not done often, that's for sure, but he was such a prominent person who made a difference. It's just the right thing to do. Councilmember Vaughn, I'm glad you mentioned about Beckett paper and the handwritten cards, because my aunt worked in the mill and various different jobs there, and even after she retired, she got a birthday card note from Dave Belew, and that meant a lot to her. So that's the kind of man who cares about who he works with and who he volunteers with. From my observation, the Dave Belew way was he had vision, but was pragmatic with common sense leadership. He had wisdom, and he knew how to deliver wisdom to others. He was a tremendous family man. Another thing he sent out was Christmas cards. And after 50 years or 60 years of doing that, he had his final one, which had photos of all the other Christmas cards. And really, the handwritten notes, the Christmas cards, that's just class. He will definitely be missed. Vice Mayor Pullman.
Well, like a few of them there, I actually didn't know Dave Belew personally, but being a business owner and being an involved citizen of Hamilton, Ohio, you couldn't be involved or be a business owner without knowing the name Dave Belew. I mean, I've heard it 1,000 times. I did get a chance to deal with the Hamilton Community Foundation years ago when Dave was on it. That helped us build a baseball field for special needs at Crawford Woods. So he was part of that. But to say that I knew him, I just knew the name. I knew he wasn't just only Mr. Hamilton, but he contribute is a word you hear all the time. He's Mr. Contribution to this city. He may be gone, but his legacy lives on, and he won't be forgotten for a long time. There's just too much that he did for this town that every time you look around that you're going to see his name on. So, will be missed, but won't be forgotten.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Pullman.
Thanks, Pat. I had the privilege to know Dave from the early 80s when I first met him, and he never forgot a name. That was something that was so profound in him. If you saw him once, he knew you by name, and he'd walk up to you and shake your hand and say hello. He was a devout Christian. He was a great family man with Marjorie and his children. The council has already told you about his Christmas cards. They were all uniquely different every Christmas, and you could look forward to receiving one with a handwritten note from he and Marge. It was just something special. Again, his dedication to our city, leaving our city a better place yesterday, today, and tomorrow, as other council members have mentioned. That was the kind of gentleman that Dave Belew was. Shortly after our daughter died, Dave came to our house in 2002, just before Christmas. Mallory died just after Thanksgiving, and Dave came to our house
to spend time with Pam and Andrew and I. He didn't have to do that, and I'll never ever forget that act of kindness. So it's a loss to our city. We've talked about those who have preceded us and preceded other great people in the city this past couple of weeks. In Dave's legend, his contributions, his continued philanthropy will go on for years and years and years through the foundation. So we're fortunate to have people like Dave. As one of the others said, if we can all pick up a piece of what Dave did in his life and just kind of live by that same creed, we'll all be better people, and our city will continue to be a better place because of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Knapp.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to thank Mr. Belew for his many contributions to our city. He enriched the lives of our residents and businesses throughout Hamilton. Because of him, our city is better and stronger. Mr. Belew left a legacy of what it means to give back to your community for all to benefit. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Ryan. And again, flags are at half-mast because of his legacy, contributions, the traits that he lived by. Thank you very much for letting us share our reflections and ideas and memories to you.